Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cat's Cottage. I'm stopping in to say hello to everybody and share a cup of coffee with you, or tea, or Dr. Pepper, or whatever you're drinking. Just be careful drinking that soda drink with that sugar in it, because that's what got me in this situation that I'm in. Uh, I loved root beer, and I drank it. Oh, I could just drink glass after glass like it was my, survival. But it caught up to me. It took me about 2 years of drinking like that, and then it caught up to me. And every time I'd go to the doctor or a dentist, it's, "Boy, you really like a lot of sweets. It got you into trouble, didn't it?" And I'm like, "No, I don't really eat sweets. I drink sweets, you know." So be careful on the soda. And I've got this big idea that I'm on diet soda now. I got this big idea that I'm gonna get off of soda altogether. So uh, I'm gonna try uh, flavored water, because I used to drink flavored water some time back when I was running. I drank flavored water. So, or I flavored my water. I'd buy these little flavored type deals that had, peach or strawberry, something like that. And I'd buy the carbonated water and I'd flavor it. But I'm going to try to go back to a flavored water and get rid of the carbonation and soda. And the diet, whatever they're making that stuff, diet, not sweet, no sugar, is not probably not good for you either. And then if you buy some of those flavored drinks, you might run into some of that dye. And I was shocked at how much that dye is in everything. But yellow dye and green beans. So um, I think that once we stop buying that kind of stuff and go against dye, that they will make sure it's on the label, like no dyes. They'll take it out. That's the only way they take it out, is where the public rejects stuff. And but I like sugar. I like it, and it's not good. It's put me in this situation. You know, Overweight, half blind, got a lot of medical troubles. So get off that sugar if you can. I'm doing my best to do it. Um, I think, and it too, after a while, when you start getting off of it, everything that is sweetened, it's like, oh boy, man, this is too much sugar. I don't care for that. And that's what happens. The stuff starts becoming. You realize how much sugar is actually in it. You know, uh, I'll buy those diet cookies and think that now, since I'm getting off of sugar, and I think, okay, I've got diet cookies, and but they're sweet. They're like, oh boy, this is too sweet. And but our taste buds will change, you know, to the way we eat. But anyway, enough about that. I just wanted to say hello to everybody, and I hope we all have a good, productive day. Uh, I plan on, piddling around here and getting with some stuff around here. Um, I have to stay on top of my uh, garden, and of course my house. I've got to stay on my cottage. But anyway, just saying hello. And the thing about, I think what I said on the other video, where I said I only spent $6 and I think it's going to snow. Um, that's just an old joke. Like, what you've done is unbelievable and it's not like you. It started years ago. when I went to visit my sister. You know, she moved here finally. Through years, she decided to move because she was a she traveled on the bases and she didn't have anywhere to go. So she decided to buy a house here and live here, see how it was. Anyway, I had fixed up my nails and they were painted. You know, I used to do that some for a living. I would give a manicure, paint nails, do hair, whatever, facial, even a foot massage, which I hated. But I had my nails done up and painted and went to visit her. And I normally don't do that because when you do a lot of painting, you can't do it because you get the paint all in your nails, on your cuticles and all that. It'd just be a waste to paint. And then I do a lot of gardening and fishing and whatever else I did. And I couldn't do it with these nails, with long nails. But I went to her house and I think I had my nails red. She saw my nails. She does her nails, but I never do. And she says, "Oh my God, it's going to snow." I said, "Why is that? You know, how's it going to snow? We're in the middle of summer." And she said, "You've painted your nails." And so from then on, we were back and forth with that phrase. Now, I don't know if she made it up or it's an old saying. I don't know where it came from, but I'd say, you know, "Oh my gosh, it's going to snow. I only spent $6, you know." So that was just, I don't know if it's a joke between me and her or if it is an old saying. I don't know. But anyway, uh, spending only $6 in a thrift store, that's enough of a shock to make it snow, you know. But I'll talk to y'all later, probably today. Uh, it might just be a short video on something I'm doing, or maybe I'll take a break and talk. I don't know. But thank you so much. You're such nice, sweet people. Uh, you know, and people are good. You want to think that people aren't, but people are good. And oh, I'm going to tell you about something just before I go. I'm just on 7 minutes. So anyway, there's this lady that collects money for the cemetery, and she keeps up with everything. She didn't used to through the years, and now she's picked that up. But she keeps calling my husband. So last night, I mean, and she talks for hours and hours and hours, and he makes motions that she's running him crazy, but I don't believe any of that kind of stuff, you know. You know, men could pretend it's a bother or, oh, gosh, but they like it because they call the person up and say, "Call me back." So they're not, that's baloney, you know. I'm on to them. But yesterday we had a discussion about it, and I said, "Do you realize she's called? You don't even know her. You barely know." "Oh yeah, I went down there one time and I met her." And blah 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 blah. I said, "That's not knowing a person." Oh, he said, "Well, she's just a nice lady. I don't want to hurt her feelings." I said, "Let me say this about that." I said, "There's a thin line. There's this line that you don't cross. You don't call up other women's husbands and have long conversations with them. You don't do it. I don't care." So he started saying, "Well, everything would be okay if you wasn't jealous." And I like, "I'm not jealous." I said, "She's crossing the line. If she wants to call once and maybe a couple months later and ask you another question, is she asking questions? What does she want in particular?" He's like, "Well, I really don't know." I said, "So she's crossing the line." Anyway, we go to the Salvation Army there, and there's a lady about my age, maybe a little older. She's crossing the line. She's tagging my husband around, talking to him like I don't exist. I can be standing there are close by and she's carrying on. And I told him, I said, do not encourage her. I'm not encouraging her. She's coming over here. You're encouraging her by responding back in a way that she's going to see she can have a conversation with you. She's crossing the line on me, you know. And he said, I don't know what she would want. I said, I know what she wants. She wants you to come over, cut her grass, repair this, fix that, just like I do. That's what she wants. And she wants your money. Don't you understand? You're so naive. That's how I got you. I tricked you. But he can't say to somebody, he just won't, to nobody he won't say it. I can't see at night. I got 2 cataracts and I won't take them off my eyes. And I don't need to be driving at night. Or I don't really feel like going over there. I don't want to sit around out in the heat and all that. He said, why can't you just come right out and say from the beginning how you feel? And then it'll be cleared up. Why do you got to drag people on, and make them think? Now, he made her think that he was coming out there on Memorial Day. What are you doing? Why are you coming out there on Memorial Day? We're talking a good ways out, way out to Blue Mountain, Mississippi. I said, and 2, he's got an old truck. You can't go nowhere in that truck. No, sir. You'll be calling some tow truck somewhere and getting some kind of bus back here. I said, because good luck finding somebody that's going to come all the way out there to get you. I said, no, you got to start facing the facts. You can't go and do what you used to do. You can't go out at night. You don't need to drive at night because you don't know what's going on. I'll tell you what. We used to go to the games with my kids, my grandkids. And oh my gosh, he almost killed us several times. Going up the wrong ramp. That's enough to make you forever. You're never driving at night. It didn't happen but once. It happens over and over. Taking the wrong exit off a main road. But, it just, and he admitted, I can't see. I can't see at night. I said, well, don't go at night. If things happen, just say, I'll have to pass. When y'all have a daytime thing, I may show up then. And now he don't even really, he don't feel like that. He gets tired. He's a heart patient. And sometimes he just don't feel like, people. So I said, just be truthful. Tell them the truth from the beginning. But anyway, I was talking about these 2 women. Now, I got one, the first one I told you about, Dot's her name, calling every day. And he said she repeats herself and repeats. I said, she's got something wrong. Now, what you got to do is you got to figure out how to get off the phone. You got to get off the phone. And please don't say, and call me back, or I'll call you later. Don't do that. I said, now this is a joke. I was teasing him here. I said, if I find out you're having sex phone, I'm going to beat you like a dog. He started laughing. He's like, oh my gosh, you're ridiculous. You are truly jealous, aren't you? I said, no, I'm not. I said, I just know where the line is and I don't cross it. And other women don't come on to other women's husbands. So that's the way it is. I said, if I find out you're having sex phone with that woman, I'm going to beat you like a dog. That got his attention. He said, you're so jealous. Not at all. I ain't having it. Oh, gee. Okay, I'm crazy. So I'm gonna let you go. Thank y'all for all those compliments, nice things you say. Uh, my my videos, they'll start out slow and then like, whoa. I was looking at shoes, but now I'm cross-eyed, you know. But I'm not that good at videoing. So, but anyway, I better get. And I'll talk to y'all later. See you again later. Y'all have a great day. Bye bye.